The other method is elimination. So sometimes they call it addition method. This method is done by using the fact that if A is equal to B and C is equal to D, then A plus C is equal to B plus D. Basically, if I can make the coefficient of X or Y opposite of each other, if I just add these two equations, then that variable would eliminate. So in this case, the coefficient of X is already opposite, as you see. So I don't have to do anything. So if I just simply add these two equations, -2, +2 add up to 0, and then for y, I get 3y plus 2y would be equal to 5y. You add the constant, you get -5, and you can simply solve for y. Once you find y, you can substitute that into either of these two equations to solve for x. If it's really up to you as how to solve the system of equations, I suggest you use the elimination method. That probably would be the easiest one to choose. So this would be the steps again we talked about. The first thing you do is you write both equations in standard form. It's important to write in standard form. Ax plus by equal to c. Sometimes it's not in standard form. If a, b, and c's are decimal or fraction, you may want to eliminate that and make that real numbers or integers. Not real number, integers. So step number 2, transform the equation as needed so that the coefficient of one pair of the variable terms are opposites. So the goal is to make either coefficient of x or coefficient of y opposite of each other. How we do that? Multiply one, sometimes both equations by a number. It has to be an appropriate number so that the sum of those coefficients add up to 0. In other words, it would be opposite of each other. Add the new equations to eliminate a variable, then solve them and check the answer. We did that. So let's take a look at the example here. Here we have solve the system. 2x plus 3y equal to 19. 3x minus 7y is equal to -6. As you see here, the coefficient of x and y are not equal or opposite. So we have to select a variable to eliminate. It's really up to you. Let's choose y. Let's eliminate y. Multiply the equation number 1 by 7 and multiply equation number 2 by 3 because you want to make these two opposite of each other. So they are already opposite in sign, but to make this exact number, the value of this, if I multiply the top row by 7, bottom row by 3, then the coefficient of y would be opposite of each other. As you see here, make sure to multiply that 7 by each term. It's very important, by each term. So 2 times 7 would be 14x, 3 times 7 would be 21y, and so on. As you see, by doing that, the coefficient of y would become opposite of each other, so I can add these and then solve for x and plug it into the other equation and solve for y. If I wanted to make the coefficient of x opposite of each other, then I have to multiply the top row here by, what do you have to multiply the top row with? 3 is correct, and the bottom row by -2, right? Because you want to make it opposite, right? So if I multiply the top row by 3, bottom row by 2, they make them exactly the same as 6. However, I have to multiply one of them by negative. Doesn't matter which one. But don't forget again to multiply that factor by each term and then add them up. So that's solved by elimination method.